Hey everyone, in this video, we're going to take a look at the math behind a Social Security strategy that's been around for quite a while. It goes like this. File early, invest the monthly benefit, and then you'll be able to generate more income than someone who waited until later to file. Effectively saying, you can do better on your own. But does it make sense to file early and invest the money? Stay tuned and we'll find out. Hey, I'm Devin Carroll, and this channel is all about simplifying Social Security so you can use the rules to your advantage. If you're new here, be sure to subscribe before we go any further so you don't miss anything we publish. And if you get value from what we're saying here, be sure to hit that like button. There's nothing like a decade of positive returns in the market to create optimism for investing. And we're starting to see this optimism affect how individuals file for Social Security too. A few years ago, there weren't many people saying they were big believers in the market. But we were still recovering from one of the worst markets since the Great Depression, and most of the news was still pretty negative. But a few years later, individuals have seen a few years now of positive returns, and some of those have been double-digit returns. And we've started to see individuals become much more optimistic. And so I've started to hear more people say things like, Devin, I think I could file early for Social Security, invest it, and create more income down the road than what I would have had with Social Security to begin with. Now, I've heard things like that for a while, but I've never really stopped and dug into the numbers to see if it was really possible. So I decided this was the time for a closer look. So let's consider someone with a $2,000 benefit at their full retirement age. In this video, we'll assume full retirement age is 67. So you can file as early as age 62 and get $1,400, or as late as 70 and get $2,480. In this video, we'll look at two scenarios. One is where you need to start your income at 67, and the other is where you start your income at age 70. In both cases, I'll assume that you file for benefits at 62, and that benefit has a 2% cost of living adjustment applied, and you invest that monthly benefits check. Now, here's how that investment would accumulate at various rates of return from the beginning of age 62 to the beginning of age 67. First, let's assume you didn't make anything, a 0% rate of return. That $1,400 per month would be worth $87,427. At 4, 6, and 8%, it would gradually increase, and the highest rate of return I assumed was 10%, where your balance would be $116,000, nearly $117,000. Now, these amounts would be the available balance that you could use in supplementing your income. So now let's look and see what the income gap would be after we adjust for the annual cost of living adjustments. Your benefit would start at $1,400, but at age 67, it would be approximately $1,546 if there was a 2% annual cost of living adjustment. The age 67 benefit was $2,000, but when you add that COLA back to it, it would be $2,208. So there would be an income gap here of $662 that you would need to create from the invested Social Security benefits. And for this video, I'll assume that there are two ways that you can generate this income. The first is an immediate lifetime annuity. And the reason is this is the closest thing to your Social Security benefit in that it offers fixed payments that's guaranteed for your lifetime. The way these work is you give a lump sum of money to an insurance company and they send you payments, and they'll send these to you for the rest of your life. The other option I assumed was leaving your money invested, and then you just take a 5% annual withdrawal to supplement the Social Security income. Here are the results. If you need to generate an income stream of $662 per month, it would require an annuity of $115,539. and an investment portfolio of nearly $160,000. For the annuity, this would mean that you'd have to get right at a 10% annual rate of return. And for the portfolio option, you'd have to get an annual rate of return of around 21%. And remember, these are the returns you need in order to break even. If you want to actually do better, you need to get returns that are higher than that. And the Social Security returns have almost no risk. And I'm not sure how you feel about your capabilities to get consistent investment returns like these, but if you can, maybe you should start a hedge fund, because I can tell you that there's no way I would take that chance with a client's money. But what if you have a longer time period? How does the time value of money work into this? Let's say that you don't need the income to start until you're age 70. In this scenario, you'd have from the beginning of age 62 to the beginning of age 70 to receive those benefits and invest them. So how would that time value of money change this outcome? Well, by the time you take your age 70 benefit, it will have grown to $2,905 with a 2% cost of living adjustment. That would be an income gap of $1,265 that you need to cover. And since you have a few additional years to invest, the balance of the investment portfolio would be higher than in the prior scenario. So it will range from $144,000 all the way up to about $224,000 at a 10% rate of return. Now that we know what you've saved, how much would it take to replace $1,265? Well, you'd need an annuity of right at $200,000 and an investment portfolio of $300,000. This means for the annuity to work, you'd need to get around 7% return, and for the portfolio to work, you'd need to get around a 17% return. Again, those numbers are just to give you the dollar amount of income that you'd need to get from Social Security, and that would be without hardly taking any risk from Social Security. But risk is not the only difference here. For example, the annuity options do not have survivor benefits. The taxation of an annuity versus investment portfolio versus Social Security, it's all different. So the net amount would not be the same. And the annuity options were calculated with today's interest rates, and there's just no way to know what those interest rates would be in the future and how those annuities would be affected and how much it would take to invest into those. And also the investment return illustrations are compounded annually, and it would have been slightly different if we would have compounded those on a monthly basis. And then the amount of your Social Security benefit would also affect the required rate of return on the other options too. Not much, but it would. This video covered what we know today with a set benefit amount, but your mileage, as always, may vary with your own circumstances. Just ultimately remember, I'm not your financial, legal, or tax advisor. This video is meant to help educate you, but not specific advice for your specific situation. As I always do, I'd recommend that you talk to your own advisors and stay curious, most importantly. You can subscribe to me here and then watch this video here next. And I hope this video was useful for you. And if it was, hit that like button and send YouTube a message that says other people need to hear what this guy is saying. Thank you so much for watching. Have a fantastic day.